spoken. Y'all say word. Spoken.
Word.
Spoken. Word. Y'all had a good time tonight. Let me hear you say yeah.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, can we get a huge round of applause for Mr. Christoph Writes? So my father was diagnosed with acute lymphomic leukemia in 2001, and since then he has overcome 2 different types of cancer after that, and he is alive right now. He is probably somewhere drinking green tea right now. This poem is dedicated more so to, y'all like the green tea, the whole Asian thing. This poem is more so dedicated to our relationship and how cancer really affected our relationship during these tough times, and how his kind of never give up and just his spirit to win no matter what has served as a catalyst for me in the way that I live my life up until this point. And real quick, he's super old school. Make some noise if y'all got like old school parents or you know what I'm saying, old school parents. The other day he calls me up and he's like George, today is a special day. I'm like, what are you talking about there? He's like, it's a secret. I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about, man? He's like, today I get iPhone. It's like the other day. But he always loved using his hands. And he would also leave marks on my face as a sign for discipline. And some may call them bruises, but I call them visible prayers. You see, my cheeks learned the lines on the inside of his palms like a roadmap to better behavior, but I was never good at following directions very well. When I was little, I peed in the garage because I was too lazy to go inside. I tried to blame it on the cat. He told me not to lie and mushed my face into my own urine. I never thought I'd be able to smell my own dishonesty. You see, his hands were so strong that one day he lifted me up on my innocence, and when he let go, I landed in a foster home without even knowing he did it. Finished the last few months of my 5th grade year with a family that wasn't even mine. See, sometimes my emotions would explode like a gunshot, and I'd watch tears race each other down to my jawline because it felt like my heart and his English were the only thing we had in common, both broken like a record spinning the soundtrack to my family's harmony. But when I returned home that summer and things finally started to get back to normal, I was told that he was diagnosed with cancer, and I realized that things are just getting started. See, while he was in the hospital, his hair began to wear thin, like the line between discipline and abuse. My mother used to caress him like an instrument, plucking his hair strands like harp strings that were tired of playing love songs. The radiation showed in his gums. They began to bleed courageously like the stab wounds in Caesar's back. See, while he was in the army, he used to be a long-range rifle shooter. At one point, he was the best in Japan. He would practice with patience and precision back when his hands were controllable. He would always tell me before every single match he would chant and recite in his head, "Katsu, katsu, zettai ni katsu, I will win no matter what, I will win." See, when I was sitting next to him on his hospital bed, I could have swore I saw the reflections of shooting targets in his eyes. His main aim was to live long enough to see his children succeed, but for some reason, while he was in the hospital, resentment was growing in my blood like a bad case of leukemia. See, his illness wasn't even a good enough reason for me to forgive him at the time, but now I get it, Dad. I finally understand. You were just surviving long enough to offer me an apology that I could properly accept, to construct the altar that I now pray to with the same hands that were used to bruise my faith. You still had to teach me what it means to never give up, no matter what, whether it's finishing a poem or surviving cancer. Dad, I promise, boku katsu, zettai ni katsu, I will win. No matter what, I will win. How dare I resent the man that taught me how to pray when I know people who never had a father in the first place. So thank you for your brotherly English that reminds me I'm Japanese, for the spots on your arms from overcoming cancer that remind me I'm still breathing, for all of those little things, because nowadays he gives me haircuts. And he claims that they're perfect every single time, but every now and then he'll leave a patch on the backside of my head, about the same size as the bruises he used to leave on my face. But I just smile, and I take it as a reminder of how uncontrollable his hands used to be. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have